In this video, I want to show you how you can write a resume that's appropriate for an entry-level job or an internship position, even if you have absolutely zero or very minimal relevant work experience. How's it going? My name is Kieran and I graduated with a bachelor's and master's degree in mechanical engineering, and I landed a role straight out of college with zero internship experience. Now, a lot of the resume templates that I see or videos talking about tips assume that you have a couple years of relevant experience. And for someone like me who didn't do a single internship or didn't really grow up with parents in the industry, I had to rely on my academic projects for my experience. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, the very first tip I want to give you is if you have never written a resume, then I highly advise you to find a template online and stick to it. Now, there's no one size fits all when it comes to writing resumes, but getting a template and filling it out is just a good way to practice gathering your experience and putting it onto a paper. So if you don't have a template right now, you can just Google any template that you like. I've had a look at a few templates, and the one that I really like is the Harvard bullet point resume. This one you can just find by Googling, and it's really nice because it has a Google Docs. So if you don't have a template, I would Google Harvard bullet point resume template. It'll bring you to this page, and it has a nice Google Docs version which you can click on, and as you can see, it has a really nice template. And then you can go to File, Make a Copy, and it'll save it to your local drive. Now, this is a really good starting point. You can see it has all the minimum requirements like education, experience, leadership, and skills. Now, if you are applying for an entry-level position or an internship and you're watching this video, I'm assuming you don't have much experience. So your resume should definitely not be longer than one page. So if you have a look at this template, you can see that there's work experience, but there's no dedicated page for academic projects. So let's start a new document from scratch and fill this out to be our resume. So Arial is fine, as long as it's something basic like Times New Roman or Calibri. Now, the very first thing we're going to do is write our name. And then we want to do our contact details. I'm actually just going to copy this from the template. And then I'm going to start filling out the sections. Now, a tip for the address, you don't have to put where you're currently living. You can put your parents' place as well. But my tip for you is that if you currently live in, let's say, Pennsylvania, and you're applying to a job in California and you have relatives that live there, I would put down your relative's address. Let's start filling out the titles or the sections. So first one we're going to start with is education. Then we're going to go with work experience. And then we're going to insert a section called relevant academic projects. Now, this is going to be the meat of your resume. It's no longer going to be work experience. We'll leave that in and put any work experience that we have. But where we want to focus is that relevant academic projects. Now, once that's done, we can kind of go back to the Harvard template and copy the other things. So these are going to be the points that we want to fill out. And the really nice thing about this Harvard template is that it's going to give you how to define and write down different things. So a lot of the resume is really done. You just want to stick with these sections. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and fill out these sections, and then I'm going to fast forward. So I fast forwarded a little bit, and now I have a finished resume template. You can see that I filled out my education, and what I've done is I've put my degree and full name, I've added sections for my thesis, and relevant coursework. So relevant coursework is going to change depending on the position you're applying for. With this particular resume, I applied for a robotics position, so a lot of my coursework and a lot of my academic projects are robotics focused. Now, you'll see that under work experience, like I said, I didn't do an internship, so I really relied on my on-campus positions. Now, let's say you didn't have any work experience at all. I would put down something even though it may not be relevant. But if that's the case, you really want, like I said, the meat of your resume to be in the academic projects. Now, how you write this section is exactly the same as if it was a job. So once again, going back to that Harvard resume, you really want to follow these tips when it comes to writing the academic project section of your resume. So that's it for the video. I just want to show you a quick template and tips on how to write your resume. Once again, if you don't have internship experience, I wouldn't be too worried. You can make up that experience with the relevant academic projects, and hopefully you'll get it next time. If you're interested about how I got a lot of work experience working as a graduate research engineer, I would encourage you to check out my other videos on the channel. Thank you.